Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigurd here and welcome back to another video. So, the how much damage you can deal in 6 fights has been a very popular setup for league raids. Because usually league raids run raids in 2 days, which is going to mean 6 fights for everybody, the bosses are going to always be the same, and that is kind of the most controlled environment you can do such a video. But I wanted to do one for Storage as well, because why not? And I'm going to show you the absolute peak performance for my main account. This is the main account, so we have access to a lot of things like Beta Club, so keep that in mind. If you want me to do a video about the secondary account with all the 16 I use there, then let me know in the comments and maybe I'll do it. But for this video, we are not going to really fight anything that could hinder this run, because usually you can't really do this because you're gonna have nasty bosses that are going to take multiple times and multiple fights no matter what, are gonna have resistances, are gonna have a lot of stuff that's gonna make you not deal that much damage or not do peak performance damage. But in this one, except for Grid at the start, who is immune to crits, we're going to fight bosses that are normal bosses, and most of them are combo interruptible. They're not gonna have any modifiers that prevent us from doing damage, because we wanna get as much damage as we can with those 6 fights, and we just got lucky in terms of the bosses that I had available to fight. So yeah, we'll get into it. First up, we have Kinflan Sakumen fight, and this is going to go for 2 billion damage against boss grids. Have Beta Club at level 10 on King, have Dark Mail cards at level 6 on Raven to give us some crits while we're in the corner, and we have level 10 Sword of Salvation on Dr. Fate for some passive stats. Raven back in there, special 1. Funny enough, the dot damage that's inflicted on Grid by Kinflan Sakumen can crit if the Kinflan Sakumen is tagged in and on the crit area. Like, if I tag him out, we're never gonna get crits on that dot damage, but if he just stays there, then we're going to get crits. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't really. So that's a little bit of a weird interaction for you. Now I'm going to let him deal some damage to me, because I want to avoid unusual gameplay, because it's something that happens from time to time when you're using Beta Club. I don't know if they patched it, because honestly I've always done this in the past fights, like letting one character get badly damaged. But let me know if you still encounter unusual gameplay when using Beta Club. And yeah, this was a pretty straightforward fight. I'm gonna leave the fights at normal speed for this one, because I might as well explain the teams a bit. That was Kinflan Sakumen Raven plus Beta Club, maybe not the most relatable team, but here we have Zatanna. So Zatanna has Sword of Salvation on, and EPI has Sword of Sin, both of them at level 10, granting me passive stats, and Harley has the Dark Mail cards at level 6. Sword of Salvation kind of sucks on Zatanna, because it does not stack her passive, only the power you steal with your ability stacks the passive. And at the same time, if we power steal with the Sword of Salvation, then we're not gonna have any power left to power steal with the ability, so no damage increase. And Sword of Sin is even far worse than that, because it power drains the enemy to no power, so no damage buff. So I had to be a little bit careful how I use these artifacts, because I'm using that for passive stats at this point. It's simply a situation of I need to have both of them equipped. So I went with Sword of Salvation and tried to not do that many hits unless I needed to make sure that was always an amount of power bars on Power Girl to be power stolen by my abilities. Now I'm going to push her in the corner, Harley in there. Special 2, we also use Super Move. We're going to be at the class disadvantage, and for the League of Anarchy it matters a bit, because it double hinders their damage in terms of their basic attack hit damage and the dot damage, and the dot damage already depends on the basic attack hit damage. So that will decrease on that, but it's not going to be a big deal. We managed to get to 300% damage buff pretty fast, so now let's use Super Move as well. We're going to have a smooth gameplay here. Push it to the corner, another Special 2. Love to have the Dark Mail cards area beneath us. Another Special 2. We're kind of running low on energy. Zatanna back in there. And she did not power steal. It's a 66% chance, I think, for her to power steal on each swipe attack, and she failed to do so. That's amazing. But it's okay, we at least got some energy from the tag-in, and she gets interrupted on tag-in. That's just lovely to see. I mean, it's my fault because I did not properly ghost stab, but at the same time, this shouldn't be a problem in the first place. Yeah, special 2 in there, gonna push her back to the corner, another special 2. We get plenty of energy at this point, especially because we're in the last minutes, doing a full combo here, another special 2. Again, doing a full combo, and as the Dark Melkor's area is going to respawn, we're not gonna have any trouble dealing damage here. This could have been ended so much sooner than it ended, because we got to deal peak performance damage in the last few seconds. Every single time there was a problem about us dealing damage, but it's fine. It was enough to kill her, and there we go, 2 billion damage from here as well, 4 billion damage in total. But Sigvald, it's not 4 billion damage, it's a little bit less, no worry, I'll tell you the exact amount at the end, and I calculated that with the exact numbers. Now moving on to the next one, we have the Batman Ninja Brainiac plus Grodd and Robin. So, this team is going to stack lethal attack damage, so we can get higher damage values out of the Beta Club, and at the same time is going to get higher lethal attack damage and Beta Club values from Robin's passive. So Grodd is going to be buffed up from 2 places basically, and having Grodd there allows us to have a very smooth gameplay with Brainiac as well, because we're able to get so much power from the Grodd passive and just keep spamming the special 1. We have Sword of Sin on Brainiac, not the most needed artifact here, just for passive stats. Sword of Salvation on Robin, both of them at level 10. They are mid-tier artifacts, so keep that in mind. We could have so much more passive stats. And Grodd will be with the level 10 Beta Club, and now that we got him to a corner, we're just going to combo and chop him and keep going. The thing is, we have 2 other options here. We can infinite combo, but I don't like doing the infinite combo if the enemy is combo and choppable, because it's overall less damage, because we get less hits in the same time frame, so that stacks less lethal attack damage, and that results in lower dot values. And why would I do that if I can just combo and chop? But I guess if you can't combo and chop, you can do that, but if you can't combo and chop, good luck getting them to the corner in the first place, because that's the only place where you can do that. Use my own super move, and I allowed him to use his super move on Grodd, and that was a lot of damage actually, considering that we're constantly applying the Grodd debuff on him that decreases his attack to basically nothing. That was a lot of damage. He might have the Berserk ability, I'm not 100% sure, but I shouldn't really risk my Grodd like this, because we'll end up with plenty of time left before we kill this man, and tagging in Robin to tank super move doesn't hurt at all. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Pretty straightforward fights. If you can't combo and chop, this is gonna be a little bit harder. If you don't have Beta Club, then don't use this team pretty much. I haven't really tried it without. I tried it without Beta Club, but with Joker Ice Patrings, but that doesn't tell anything because that's yet another pay-to-win artifact. Moving on to the next team, we have Battle Collapse plus Deathstroke plus Horrific Scarecrow against Boss Bane. First up, we're going to Power Steal with Sword of Salvation and build Crisis Energy with Battle Collapse. Then we're going to tag in Deathstroke to deal also his percentage hull damage. And we have Scarecrow there so that it's going to take Bane more time to get to his first special. That's important to when we tag the clones, because the first clone at the very least will be tagged after he uses super move. And then that will give the clone so much more time to push him to the corner before he can use any specials. Battle Collapse did an amazing job there and did all the percentage hull damage in one transformation. Usually that's enough, but sometimes when the fight is unoptimal you'll need 2 transformations, but 1 was enough, and we tag in Deathstroke with plenty of time left. Another special 2 in there. Combo and chop again. Another special 2. And yeah, we are out of the 2 billion damage in one fight area. Like, that was it. That was all the teams that I had that could do 2 billion damage. I could have had a little bit of a different setup. Like, some people like to use Battle Collapse plus Brainiac plus Batman the Drowned to do 2 billion damage. I can't do that. They are not strong enough yet. Some people use Zatanna with them because their League of Anarchy is strong enough to do 2 billion damage. So there's definitely room for improvement, and this is not by default best setup. Also, if you use Zatanna with the Batman the Drowned team, you're going to be able to save Brainiac, and you can use Brainiac with Mr. Freeze, and people can also do 2 billion with that. I can't because my Mr. Freeze is just 3 stars. So yeah, this is definitely a lot of room for improvement. This is what you would call a budget late game setup for soul rates. I don't really mind the lower star rating on Deathstroke and Bellum Collapse because they don't do much at higher star ratings. I don't care. They're just fine at 3 stars. But for the other characters, like Batman the Drowned, like Mr. Freeze, I would love a higher star rating, but for the most part just too lazy to farm Marine Knight champions right now. But yeah, this clone did the best it could. I'm going to soon enough tag it out because it was also running out of energy, and the second clone gets a perfect tagging in there actually, because we got him all the way to the corner exactly where we need him, and we're going to just spam special 2. I'm going chopped again. I'm going chopped again. Into our special 2. And yeah, this fight won't hold enough. It doesn't really matter if we deal exactly the best damage we can here, because the next team we're going to use here is going to most likely out-damage the Bane's health and will win the fight with a lot of time left. But yeah, that's as far as the Deathstroke team goes. And I think this is one of the better fights I've had with them. 1.4 billion. If it's above 1.4, then you know it's a good fight. Moving on to the next team is going to be Manta plus Vixen plus Classic Wonder Woman. It was a little bit of a mistake here in terms of the team setup because it was too much. I did not need this much with Manta. I think it would have been fine with just Vixen and whatever. Just put the Silver Green Lantern in there and make your life easier. And I'm not saying that because I struggled without Silver Green Lantern. I'm saying that because it was just too much damage here, and I could have used Classic Wonder Woman if she was not used here with the team that you're going to see next. But yeah, the purpose of this team is to clean up the spots. So far, what have we done? Let's recap. We have killed 3 bosses in one shot, and we have heavily damaged a 4th. Now we're going to try to kill a 4th boss, and then the last image is gonna do whatever it can do at that point. Manta has Joker as Batarangs at level 8, so those allow us to have 4 fast attack hits at once, allowing us to deal some significant amounts of damage, allowing us to stack passive very fast, and at the same time the second passive is going to apply a poison debuff on the enemy. So every single time we're going to use a special, the enemy is going to take additional damage separately from my basic attack hits from our taps, but related to them in terms of damage. So that's why this artifact is amazing for Manta. Also amazing for Batman Ninja team, but not on the beta club level for them. And I think it's pretty good for the Just League team as well. I don't have the Just League team built on this account. I should build them eventually and test that one out. But yeah, now he's in the corner. Level 8 Joker as Batarangs allow me to do 3 full combo strings before I need to reset the poison effect. If you have a higher level, I think at level 10 you might be able to squeeze in 4 full combos before needing to reset. But it's fine with 3, it kind of expires at the same rate as my burning effect to an extent, so I'm fine with this. At lower level, I could do only 2 full strings before having to use another special, so it scales with the level. Also, the damage gets increased. Also, the fast attack hits gets increased with the level. So yeah, this can give me all the way to 3 additional fast attack hits, which I can't use because the maximum is 4, and Black Manta already has 2. But worry not, because Zatanna can use this artifact at full potential because she's got 1 fast attack hit. Great job, NetherRealms. You fixed the artifact by adding a crippled character that needs assistance from it to do fast attack hits. But yeah, this was a good enough fight. It went well. Not more I could ask from this team. And moving on to the last fight, this is gonna be a Mr. Freeze fight. And it's gonna have Silver Green Lantern in there, just because I was scrolling through the roster and there was literally no support character that could help me here that they have not used. I have not used Power Girl, but in this team specifically I didn't feel like Power Girl would help out much, because we have Sword of Salvation and it also gives us passive stats, so that's a must use. So Red Hood will generate for us so much power at such high rates. And having Power Girl in there would just stack Mr. Freeze's passives over at that point, so not really worth it. We got Red Hood Super Move in there, and we're combo interrupting, generating some power. I think I should have tagged Mr. Freeze in sooner and tagged him out sooner, because we're capping at the amount of energy for Super Move before really tagging Mr. Freeze in. So let's say 2 or 3 seconds wasted there, but that's fine. We're going to try to now push him to the corner. We have Beta Club on Mr. Freeze at level 10, but you need to keep in mind that he is only 3 stars, and Mr. Freeze is going to go from 0 to hero at a higher star rating, sadly. So we're not gonna see peak performance Mr. Freeze by far over here. Gonna do a jump attack there, 4.0 million damage. And our special 2, 4.2, and our jump attack that I don't think critted. Again, not a crit. And that was a crit. So 4.5 is going to be the cap by using this team specifically. I think I could have gotten 5.2, I think, if I had Classic Wonder Woman in there instead of Sarah Green Lantern. But yeah, we went overboard with the Manta team, sadly. And now it's gonna be the most entertaining gameplay of Injustice Immortal. We're just gonna freeze the enemy. To jump attack, see if the damage value is high enough, if we crit it, and then just watch it and do nothing because we don't want to break the freeze. I know, peak performance gameplay, this is the apex of Injustice 2 Mobile. I promise, this is the legit gameplay. This is how you should play this fight. But yeah, since we have 1 minute and 20 seconds left of this, thanks so much for watching in advance. Like the video if you liked it, disliked it, let me know in the comments what is your team setup. And if anybody watching's got, let's say, a maxed out setup with very high level artifacts and is in a situation where I was right now, where all the bosses are manageable and is not gonna hinder your damage by too much, do a video. Show us how much damage you can do in 6 fights and stories, send it to me. I would love to see it. Yes, I'm talking to you, Nightfear, if you're watching this. But yeah, back to this fight, where we're still dealing a lot of dot damage here. And Mr. Freeze team and Manta team are both in kind of a weird spot where they just do cleanup duty. And wait, you know how I could have gotten much more damage here? Not much more, but a little bit more. I could have used Mr. Freeze with Raven instead of Conflant Aquaman, and then in this fight, like, everything would have gone the same way, but Mr. Freeze plus Raven kills Grid, and in this fight we would have had Nora Snowglobe, Conflant Aquaman dealing 1.4 billion damage. That could have been more, but I'm not sure Mr. Freeze would have been able to kill Grid. He's not a strong boy yet. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Like if you liked it, disliked it if you disliked it, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all in the next one. And the exact damage we did in total is 8,240,000,000. Goodbye!
This is the future.